Sairam students, hope all are doing fine. Sridhim is here again. Today we will continue with our chapter 1.6 Alchemy of Nature. Yes, in our first part, what did we learn in our first part? In our first part, we read the lesson. Yes, I showed you some pictures also of what things are we using or the nature uses to create its magic. Yes, the magic done by a magician and the magic done by the nature, it's totally so different, and the magic done by the nature is unique. It's so beautiful. It's awesome. Yes, so many things we have learned in our first part. We learned as to how the hibiscus flower comes to life in a day and lives its life to its fullest. Yes, then we also learned as to how the rocks give in to the consistency of water. Water is so gentle, rock so solid, so hard, but still water commands over the rock and gives the shape it wants. Yes, we also learned as to how bits of grasses come out of the pavement, cement pavements, yes, which is so hard, but still there is a way. It shows that there is hope. We also learned about the spider, the cobweb. It's so delicate yet strong, isn't it? Then we learned about innumerable stars which are, they're up in the infinite sky. The oysters, when some oysters they produce pearls, beautiful pearls. How is this? Who is doing this? It is the nature who is creating its magic, who's doing the magic, isn't it? And also we have so many things to learn from this nature, isn't it, children? Yes, we also saw that nature is for our need, not for our greed. And we should also not forget that nature is we for us. Yes, we are, nature is for us. So the thing is that nature is for us and we are a part of nature, not apart from it. We are included in nature. So as being the superior beings, it is our responsibility to safeguard the nature, to protect our environment, because if nature is there, we will be there. We need nature doesn't need us, isn't it? So that is the thing which every human being, everybody should keep in mind, that the alchemy of nature is for everybody. Okay, now in today's session, we are going to see the comprehension part of the lesson. Yes, like we had done it in the earlier lessons also. We'll see how and what type of questions are we going to answer. It is going to be an activity based question paper. So what type of activities will be there? A passage will be given, followed by 5 questions, each question carrying 2 marks. So the total marks comes to 10. Okay, so what passage are we going to take today from the lesson? This is the passage we are going to take. We will read the passage first. We instinctively turn to outdoor activities and nature as a way of relaxing and enhancing our well-being. Nature soothes and nurtures. Nature fulfills and motivates. Nature whispers and commands. Are you listening? When I do, it leaves me in complete awe. We have a hibiscus plant in our garden. Every fortnight a flower blooms on it, big, bright and tender. Through the day it smiles with the sun and dances with the wind, but as evening approaches it starts wilting. The morning after it withers completely, and by evening it falls and becomes one with the earth. Okay, so this is the passage based on which we are going to do the question and answers. So what is the first question? A1. Read the passage and complete the given activities. So the first question is complete the web. What is the web? Here. In between we have the question, what does nature do? So what does the nature do? It is there given in the text. So the nature soothes, it relaxes, it nurtures, fulfills, whispers, enhances human well-being, commands, motivates. So these are the things what the nature does for us. Yes, so many things the nature is providing us with. So over here I have given, there are 8 boxes which are to be filled. So it will be carrying 2 marks. So maybe 4 boxes will be given. You have to fill any 4 out of these options. Is it clear, children? So each box will have only 1. You don't have to write everything in one box. Each box you have to write 1 point. Okay, fine. Second question. How does the hibiscus flower make the most of its short lifespan? Okay, so this is the question. How does the hibiscus flower make the most of its short lifespan? The hibiscus flower blooms every fortnight. The flower comes to life only for a day. It smiles with the sun and dances with the wind. It starts to droop and dry as the evening approaches. As we learnt in the lesson that the hibiscus flower, it comes to life only for a day. Yes, though it takes time to come out, become a bud and then starts blooming and then completely becomes a flower. So that flower has a life of only one day. And what does it do in that day? It dances with the wind and smiles with the sun. It lives its life to the fullest within a short span of time. Okay, and what happens in the evening as the sun starts setting, it starts drooping and dries away, and later on it becomes one with the earth. It falls down to the ground, it becomes one with the earth. It comes out from the earth, and after its completion of life it becomes one with the earth again. So that is how a lesson for us to learn how to live our life to its fullest, even whatever time it is given to us. Yes. So the answer to this question, see, this is a complex factual question. You have to frame it in your own words and write it with the help of the passage given, right? So the hibiscus flower blooms every fortnight. The flower comes to life only for a day. It smiles with the sun and dances with the wind. It starts to droop and dry as the evening approaches. So this is the answer for 2 marks, children. Yes, it is a 2 marks answer. So accordingly, you have to write it. Fine. Moving ahead. The next, yes, see, this is the picture of the hibiscus flower. It's so beautiful, red, beautiful color. Yes, beautiful color. It blooms. It's so beautiful. It blooms for a day and then it droops and dries away. Yes, and hibiscus flower, which is the favorite. It is said to be the favorite of Lord Ganesha. It's offered to the Lord Ganesha. So just imagine how useful this hibiscus flower is. It is offered to Lord Ganesha. While you do the worship, while doing the puja and all that, so it is being offered. So that way also it is living its life to the fullest. Yes, because it is landing at the feet of Lord Ganesha. Fine. Then third question, complete the table. Use any one word to frame a sentence of your own. Now this question, children, these type of questions can be asked in your exam. What you have to keep in mind is you have to complete the table, draw the table completed, and you have to use any one word out of those words given in the table and frame your own sentence. Not from the passage, but your own sentence. Any one word. Okay. It has been observed that most of the students, what they do if such questions are asked in the exam, they only complete the table and they forget framing the sentence. So you do not repeat the same mistake. Do not do the same mistake of not attempting the sentence or not framing the sentence. Any one word, yes, any one word you can take and frame a sentence of your own. Is it clear, children? So complete the table. Use any one word to frame a sentence of your own. Okay. So we have over here the table noun, adjective and verb. These are word formation which you have been learning it in your lower standards as well. Okay, so the word we have motivation, which is a noun. The adjective is motivational. The verb is motivate. Yes. Then this next word we have brightness as the noun, bright as an adjective, and brighten as the verb. Okay, so the words which are underlined like this, the words which are underlined, it is those blanks will be there. You have to fill in those words. Yes, it is up to you whether you take the words which you have filled in or the words which are already there in the question paper to frame the sentence. What I have taken the word which is already there, motivational. Okay, so I have framed a sentence from motivational. Sandeep Maheshwari is a motivational speaker. Yes, Sandeep Maheshwari is a motivational speaker. So I have taken the word motivational and framed a sentence on it. Yes, so I will get my 1 mark for completing the table and 1 mark for framing the sentence. Correct, children? So it's 2 marks. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that you have to complete the table as well as you have to frame the sentence also. I hope this is clear, children. Fine. Now moving ahead with the next question. Do as directed A4. When I do it, leaves me in complete awe. Yes, when I do, it leaves me in complete awe. What are we going to do over here? Identify the clause and state its kind. So we have to identify the main clause. We have to identify the subordinate clause and also the type of subordinate clause. Okay. So what is the main clause over here? It leaves me in complete awe is the main clause. When I do it is the subordinate clause. And what type of subordinate clause it is? It is adverb clause of time. You ask the question when to the main clause. When does it leave me in complete or? So you're getting the answer in the subordinate clause. When I do it. Yes. So when the question when is answered, that time the adverb clause of time is there. Yes, you have the adverb clause of time as the subordinate clause. Okay, children. So this is how you will be writing your analysis. Analyze the sentence and write it. Okay. Or the question can also be asked, analyze the sentence. When it is analyze the sentence, this is how you're going to do. You're going to write it as the main clause, then the subordinate clause and the type of subordinate clause. Okay, children, I hope this is clear. I'll repeat again. Identify the clause and stated clause. You have to write the main clause, the subordinate clause and the type of subordinate clause, whether it is a noun clause or an adjective clause or an adverb clause. Whatever it is, you have to identify it correctly. Okay, if you identify the main clause and the subordinate clause incorrectly and you write the type correctly, then still you're not going to get marks. Because the main thing is that your main clause and subordinate clause should be perfect. It should be accurate. The answer should be correct. Okay, children. Then moving ahead. Next sentence. Are you listening? Make it assertive. Okay, your question number A4 will have 2 sentences, 1 mark for each. So the second sentence over here we are having, are you listening? It is an interrogative sentence and we have to make it into an assertive sentence or a declarative sentence. Now, remember we have done transformation of sentences, right? So, are you listening is an interrogative sentence. So, if my interrogative sentence is in affirmative, my assertive sentence has to be in the negative form. Yes. So, are you listening? Which is a subject here? You. So, I will write that as a subject. You are. So, you have to change it into a negative sentence. Not listening. You are not listening is my answer to the question which is asked here. Are you listening? Make it assertive. Okay, children. This is clear with you? Fine. So, we have finished A1, A2, A3, A4. 4 questions we have finished. 2 marks for each sentence. The 5th question will be a personal response. What lesson do we learn from the hibiscus plant? Yes, we have already discussed, isn't it? We have already discussed how the hibiscus plant lives its life to its fullest. You are not going to write the same answer as it is what you have learned from the hibiscus plant. Correct? So you have to write this personal response. It is a homework for you, which you are going to do it, and it is going to be of 2 marks. So accordingly, you are going to write the answer, children. Yes, no, you write it in 1 line, it's not going to be enough. It has to be an answer sufficient enough for you to get 2 marks out of 2. Okay, children. So this, what lesson do we learn from the hibiscus plant, is a personal response, which is a homework for you. Fine. One more homework is there for you, which you are going to do is, here is an activity from your textbook. Underline the verbs in the sentences below and say whether they are transitive, needing an object, or intransitive, which need not have an object. You all have learned this in your earlier standards, the transitive verbs and the intransitive verbs. Fine. So over here you have to pick up the verbs and identify whether it is a transitive verb or an intransitive verb. So there are 7 sentences given over here. You have to do these 7 sentences, identify the verb, pick out the verbs and state whether it is a transitive verb or an intransitive verb. I hope this is clear to you, children, and this homework has to be done by you because this is a part of your textbook activity and your question paper is an activity based question paper. So any type of question related to grammar can be asked. Okay, children, so you need to have a practice of this. For that you have to do this homework. Yes. So I hope it is clear as to how you are going to answer the questions which is asked based on the passage. How you are going to write it. If it is an activity based, you have to do it that way. If it is match the column, you have to do it match the column. If it is web diagram is expected from you. If it is in a tabular form, table is expected for you to be drawn. Yes. And whatever you write inside the web diagram or the table, it has to be written in pen. Yes, it has to be written in pen. Otherwise, you will not get marks. Yes. And accordingly, you have to do the activities for the grammar as well as the language part, language study also, language study and the vocabulary also. Okay children, so I hope this is clear to you. See you soon. Thank you. Sai Ram.